What is a fact that the general public typically believes is true, but is in fact completely false? That Epsom salt helps your body during a bath. You're just taking a bath in expensive salty water and nothing extra is entering your system. Tetanus comes from rust. Electric current flows from positive to negative. That fish would get scared and swim away if you talked while fishing. Turns out my dad just wanted me to shut up. That we only use 10% of our brains. It's bullshit. We use all of it. That ab workouts are the key to great looking abs. That bottled water is safer than tap water. Edit, I mean in the states or countries with developed water infrastructure. Edit number 2, minus Michigan. Edit number 3, when I refer to tap water I am referring to water that goes through a water treatment facility. Cracking your knuckles causes arthritis. Deoxygenated blood is blue. I had a biology high school teacher try to teach us that. I find this on Reddit a lot about elephants finding humans cute. Unfortunately they don't find us cute. You do not have to wait 30 minutes after eating before swimming. She is just naturally good at giving blowjobs. The plural for octopus is octupi. 5 seconds rule. If you have bad luck at a luck-based game, it will make it more likely you will have good luck next round. All illegal drugs are dangerous and addictive. You can't declare a person missing for 48 hours. Do not follow that. What happens in TV shows isn't how the real world works. 69% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Lifting weights stunts growth. Asian moms. A lot of people will joke about dying in their 40s 50s in reference to the idea that because life expectancy in the early 1900s and before was 40-50 years old that a lot of people died at 50. What they don't realize is that infant mortality drove the average down and correcting that problem is largely responsible for the rise in average. Once you adjust for infant mortality the average life expectancy of people is largely unchanged. That most Europeans thought the world was flat in 1491. Okay, in my country, people are way too sensitive about what men do. They believe that men are feminists if they do the most basic stuff. I legit got called a feminist for drawing a female character from a game, and I also get called a feminist for not playing soccer, but I don't believe that these are girly stuff. Butter on a burn. Wrong. Most butter has salt in it. Yikes. Moderate to severe burns should be kept dry and clean. First degree or sunburns, red skin only, can be treated with the usual sunburn remedies like aloe. Brushing your teeth twice a day is all you need to prevent cavities. Actually, it's just as important to always have saliva in your mouth. That birds are real, and air and government surveillance drones implemented by Reagan and the Illuminati in the mid-80s. That a cold is something that you get because you were cold. That houseplants use a dangerous amount of oxygen at night and therefore shouldn't be put in children's bedrooms. They use less than 1/10 of what they produce during the day. If they'd use more our planet would be in deep shit and humans wouldn't have existed. The whole thing about how you should drink 8 glasses of water a day. It was a false narrative made up in 1945 with no medical bias. You should really just drink when you're thirsty. Your body is pretty good at telling you when you need water. Spinach is a good source of iron. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Complete horseshit. The man who was paid to do this campaign was a genius at manipulating people into doing what he wanted. He was hired to sell cereal, cigarettes, start coups, the typical marketing stuff. Edward Bernays for those of you who want to know more. Pirates walked the plank. That Russia is a wealthy country. That we have only 5 senses. Taste. Smell. Touch. Sight. Hearing. Plus. Balance. Pain. Heat. Cold. Proprioception. Sense of limb placement. Christopher Columbus is a good guy. Nuclear energy creates more pollution than burning fossil fuels. Damn oil companies. MSG is bad for you. Dogs don't see colors. Edit, I was talking about how this fact is wrong, I didn't say it's right. That you get sick from the cold or having wet hair. That all dietary fats are bad. Where I live, people believe that the US have 52 states. You don't eat 8 spiders in your life while sleeping. That women accused of being witches in New England were burned at the stake. Hanging was the method of execution. That different parts of your tongue are made for different tastes. I think the front is salty and the middle is sweet or something IDK. I remember learning it in primary school, and then when I grew older I asked my science teacher. She said it was false. Believe it or not, a 2-in-1. Bulls are very gentle and precise in a china shop. They avoid knocking things over and bumping into the shelves, and as it is a common misconception, bulls don't hate the color red, they actually get aggressive with how much something moves, not what color is seen. That you are left-brained or right-brained. This was an old theory, Gallup-Geschwind model, which tried to argue that this is why women are more emotional whilst men are more rational. It's a load of horse shit. Not wearing a scarf or zipping your jacket while outside when it's cold will make you get sick. Also, not covering your ears when it's cold out will give you ear infections. Christianity always had a belief of eternal hell. Surprisingly, this belief is quite modern. Newton's apple story. That water is a great conductor of electricity. In reality, it sucks as a conductor, but the water that people get electrocuted through isn't water. It's a solution of ions, and probably other junk too. That Google is completely private. Cough. That foreign aid is literally shipping a container full of cash to some faraway place, no strings attached. In reality, it is often an import subsidy for products or services of the giving country. Giving 10 million in foreign aid means injecting 10 million in your own economy. That the Amazon produces 20% of the oxygen we breathe. It does produce that, but also consumes that. This isn't to say we can survive without the Amazon, we just want to suffocate. Cutting an earthworm in half want to make 2 worms. It'll just give one worm a very good reason to be angry. That cracking your knuckles is bad for you, you are literally letting the air between your bones out. Darth Vader said, Luke, I am your father. If you put a nail in a tree, in the future it will be higher up as the tree grows. I have seen this on far too many TV shows. This is not how trees work. Trees accumulate height at the top annually while the rest of the tree grows in diameter. That a theory, in science, is just an opinion. Silenced pistols are not quiet, they are loud AF. They work well enough that the entire building will hear the gunshot instead of the entire neighborhood. But the James Bond fantasy of using a silenced pistol while there's in a party going on downstairs is completely absurd. See, Hollywood gun myths. That aquarium fish only live a few months. My co-worker was astonished that my fish had been alive for years and still had years left in them. When I told him it was because they had a big enough tank, a filter and water changes, he commented that that was way too much for a fish that want to live 3 months. Big dumb circle of a conversation. Napoleon was short. Apparently, 5.7 was around the average height for French men at the time. So, today he would seem short, but during his time, he was perfectly normal, height-wise. That fossil fuels come from dinosaurs. Instead of compressed plant material. That you can't die from a daddy long-legged spider bite because its fangs are too small. This was debunked on Mythbusters, I think, but I know it was debunked. Even if their fangs were big, you'd just get bit. Driving barefoot or with the interior light being illegal. Politicians actually know what they are doing. That crime is on the rise in North America, in general, or that life was safer 40 years ago. Thunder is the sound of 2 cloud banging together, heard that a lot as a kid. People think when you hit a higher tax bracket your entire income is taxed at the higher rate. My favorites is always the myth that carrots improve your vision. Backstory is great, UK propaganda during WWII to cover for emerging radar technology. Smithsonian article. I think it remains widely believed simply because there's no real impetus to challenge it. If you cling to your false belief and make sure you eat carrots, you're eating well anyways. That the vacuum of space is cold and everything instantly freezes in it, while in reality, it doesn't have a temperature. That nuclear power is dirty. It produces steam to turn turbines, making it one of the cleanest power production available. When it comes to the radioactive waste, a lot of it is reused in the reactor, and when it's depleted, It gets tossed in a big ass hole in the ground where no one will ever see it again. Scrodinger's cat. He didn't believe the cat was both alive and dead. He was being sarcastic to make a point. Sugar cane grows faster on sand. Natural food is healthier for you than GMOs. Total bullshit. Your body doesn't care about the origin of the food you eat. Compounds are compounds. The only thing that might make a difference is when a crop is modified for taste at the expense of nutrition, but modifications could just as easily go the other way. If you ask somebody if they're a cop and they have to tell you that the word factoid is not just another word for fact. It actually means a fact that the general public typically believes is true, but is in fact completely false. That autistic people generally are also high functioning, gifted with some form of insular talent or above average intelligence.